Welcome back. Tonight, we're not looking under your bed or in your closet, we're going deeper. We're plunging into the crushing, inky blackness of the ocean's abyss, a realm more alien than the surface of the moon. The stories you're about to hear are true accounts from those who ventured into the deep and returned with tales that defy explanation. The ocean covers over 70% of our planet, yet we've explored less than 5% of it. So turn down the lights and prepare yourself. These experiences will make you question everything you thought you knew about the sea. Because what lurks in the deepest parts of our world is older, stranger, and far more terrifying than you can imagine. Our first story comes from Arthur, a man who dedicated his life to naval service, a man who witnessed things that defy explanation. Arthur, a retired naval communications officer, spent years relaying messages, decoding secrets, and being the vital link between those at sea and the command centers back home. He was a master of his craft, unflappable under pressure, and a man of unwavering duty. But even after decades of service, one incident continues to haunt him, a chilling enigma that refuses to fade from his memory: the disappearance of the USS Serpent, a state-of-the-art submarine lost without a trace. The Serpent vanished in the deepest, most unexplored region of our planet, the Mariana Trench, a place where sunlight fails to penetrate and the pressure is crushing. Arthur was at the Surface Command Center, a hub of activity where every ping, every message was meticulously monitored and analyzed. His job was maintaining constant communication with the sub, ensuring a clear and reliable channel for the crew to report their findings. The USS Serpent was on a mission to map a previously uncharted section of the trench, pushing the boundaries of human exploration in the deep sea. For 3 days, the crew sent back routine updates, depth readings, geological surveys, and the occasional observation of unusual marine life, all standard procedure. But as the mission approached its 4th day, a sense of unease began to creep into the atmosphere, a subtle shift in the tenor of the communications. Then, without warning, everything changed. The routine reports ceased, replaced by something far more disturbing. The captain reported a sonar contact, an anomaly detected by the sub's advanced sonar system. It was classified as a biological echo, suggesting the presence of a living organism. But this was no ordinary creature. The size defied all known parameters, impossibly large for anything documented in marine biology. The anomaly appeared and vanished on the sonar, as if playing a bizarre game of hide and seek with the submarine. The reading suggested something almost beyond comprehension, something that challenged the very limits of scientific understanding. The estimated size of the creature was several hundred meters long, dwarfing even the largest known whales, and its movements weren't random or chaotic. They seemed deliberate, calculated, moving with a discernible intelligence. Tension grew palpably in the command center as the anomaly circled the sub, its immense form a silent, unseen presence in the crushing darkness. The creature's behavior wasn't overtly aggressive, which only added to the unsettling mystery. It moved with a deliberate curiosity, as if studying the submarine and its crew with an alien intelligence. Then, a low resonant hum bled through the comms, a sound unlike anything Arthur had ever encountered. It was organic, not mechanical, a deep vibration that resonated through the water and through the very metal of the submarine's hull. The strange hum had a disorienting effect on the crew, causing confusion and a growing sense of dread. The captain reported a bizarre phenomenon, a blue-green glow emanating from outside the viewport, bathing the submarine in an eerie light. This wasn't just a simple bioluminescence, it was structured light, forming complex, shifting geometric patterns that seemed to defy natural explanation. As the light show intensified, the Serpent's cameras failed, their lenses unable to capture the impossible spectacle. With the cameras down, the crew's frantic voices became the only source of information, painting a terrifying picture of something utterly alien, something far beyond human comprehension. The hum intensified, growing louder and more resonant, filling the submarine with an unbearable pressure. The hull groaned under the immense pressure, the metal protesting against forces it was never designed to withstand. And then, the captain's final words echoed across the comms, a chilling testament to the horror unfolding in the depths. "It knows we're here, It's looking at us. Static. A burst of white noise then, complete and utter silence. The Serpent's signal vanished from the monitors, disappearing as if it had never existed. There was no malfunction, no distress beacon, no emergency signal, just an abrupt and inexplicable cessation of all communication. No trace. The USS Serpent was simply gone, swallowed by the abyss. Rescue teams were immediately dispatched, and they scoured the trench for weeks, deploying advanced sonar and underwater vehicles in a desperate attempt to locate the missing submarine. But despite their best efforts, nothing was found. The ocean yielded no answers, only an unsettling silence. There was no wreckage on the ocean floor, no sign of a catastrophic implosion. No debris field, no scattered remnants of the submarine's hull. Not a single clue to explain the Serpent's disappearance, only a haunting void where the submarine once was. Officially, the incident was classified as a catastrophic hull failure, a convenient explanation to close the case and avoid further scrutiny. But Arthur, and others who were in the command room that day, knew better. They knew that the official explanation didn't align with what they had heard and witnessed. They heard the captain's final transmission, the fear in his voice unmistakable. They heard the hum, the unsettling resonance that defied all known acoustic phenomena. The sub wasn't crushed by implosion. There would have been debris. It was taken, pulled into the depths by something unknown. What took it, and why it was taken, remains one of the ocean's greatest mysteries. The truth, whatever it may be, remains a secret buried in the crushing darkness of the abyss, a chilling reminder of the vast unknown that lies beneath the waves. Our next account, a chilling tale from the abyss, comes from Marco. He's not a scientist, not an explorer in the traditional sense, but a working man, a deep-sea welder. He spent his days in the murky depths of the Gulf of Mexico, a world of immense pressure and perpetual twilight, where colossal oil rigs pierce the surface like metallic leviathans. But one particular encounter, a brush with the unknown, so profoundly shook him that it forced him to abandon the ocean forever, leaving behind a career and a life he once knew. The psychological scars of that day run deep, a constant reminder of the horrors lurking beneath the waves. Marco and his partner, Dave, seasoned professionals both, were a well-oiled machine, a team that had faced countless challenges in the unforgiving environment of the deep sea. On this day, they were engaged in a routine, yet critical task, repairing a damaged pipeline, a vital artery of the energy industry, lying 300 meters down, where the pressure is immense and the sun's rays fail to penetrate. Their sanctuary was a cramped diving bell, a pressurized metal sphere, their lifeline to the surface, a small bubble of human-controlled environment in an alien world. It was from this confined space that they would perform their delicate and dangerous work. Suddenly, breaking the silence of the underwater comms, Dave whispered, his voice laced with a palpable fear that instantly put Marco on edge. He reported that something massive, something impossibly large, had just passed the edge of his light beam, a fleeting glimpse into the abyss that sent shivers down his spine. This thing was long, impossibly dark, absorbing the light, swallowing it whole, leaving only an impenetrable void in its wake. It was a darkness that seemed to possess a tangible presence. They froze, their hearts pounding in their ears, scanning the inky blackness that surrounded them. Their lights cutting through the water, searching for any sign of the unseen presence. Every shadow seemed to shift, every flicker of light played tricks on their eyes. Then, a sound that made their blood run cold, a slow, deliberate, metallic scraping coming from directly above them, against the hull of the diving bell. The surface team, alerted by the divers' frantic reports, frantically checked the external cameras, hoping to shed some light on the situation to understand the source of the terrifying sound. But one of the cameras was completely obscured, the lens covered by something large and unidentifiable, something that was clinging to the diving bell with unnerving tenacity. Silence. A thick, suffocating silence descended, broken only by the sound of their own ragged breathing. Then, a new sound even more disturbing than the last, a rhythmic, deliberate tapping on the viewport. The thick, acrylic window that was the only barrier between them and the crushing pressure of the deep. Marco, his heart pounding in his chest, slowly looked up. dreading what he might see. And there it was, a face, pressed directly against the acrylic, a grotesque visage staring back at him from the abyss. The skin was pale, almost translucent, like that of a creature that had never seen the sun, a ghostly apparition in the crushing darkness. Its eyes were huge, black, and devoid of any discernible emotion, like bottomless pits that seemed to absorb all light and hope. And its mouth, a gaping maw, was lined with rows upon rows of needle-sharp teeth, perfectly adapted for tearing flesh, a clear indication of its predatory nature. Its body was unlike anything they had ever seen, a segmented, worm-like mass that writhed and pulsed with an unsettling energy. This grotesque form was armored in a hard, chitinous exoskeleton, like some monstrous insect of the deep, a living fossil from a forgotten age. From this alien body sprouted jointed limbs, each ending in wickedly hooked claws, perfectly designed for gripping and tearing. One of those claws, with unnerving precision, tapped against the glass of the viewport, the sound echoing in the confined space of the diving bell. It was studying them, observing them with a cold, detached curiosity, as if they were specimens in a jar, its alien intelligence assessing their every move. Then, the creature began tracing the edge of the viewport seam with its claw, its movements slow and deliberate. It was testing the integrity of their fragile barrier, probing for any weakness, any point of entry into their sanctuary. Panic seized Marco. He screamed into the comms, begging the surface team to pull them up, to get them out of this underwater nightmare. But as the winch engaged, the cable strained and groaned under immense pressure. Something was holding them down. The creature, with its incredible strength, was anchoring them to the seafloor, preventing their escape, trapping them in its domain. The creature's mouth opened wider, revealing the full horror of its dentition, a nightmarish array of teeth designed for crushing and tearing. It emitted a series of high-pitched, chittering clicks that vibrated through the metal of the diving bell, a sound that seemed to bypass their ears and resonate directly in their bones. It scraped and clawed at the diving bell, its powerful limbs leaving deep gouges in the metal. It was relentlessly probing for a way in, searching for any vulnerability in their defenses, determined to breach their sanctuary. Then, as suddenly and inexplicably as it had appeared, the creature released its grip. It vanished back into the darkness, disappearing without a trace, leaving them alone once more in the crushing depths. The winch, finally free of the creature's immense weight, pulled them up towards the surface, their ascent a desperate race against the lingering fear. Back on deck, the diving bell was a testament to the encounter, its surface covered in deep, jagged scratches, a permanent record of the creature's attack. And the viewport, the window to their nightmare, was smeared with a strange, viscous residue, an unidentifiable substance that defied all attempts at analysis. No one, not the seasoned crew, not the experienced engineers, could offer a rational explanation for what they'd witnessed. The event defied all known science and understanding. The creature they encountered matched no known species, no creature cataloged in the annals of marine biology. It was something entirely new, something alien to this world. Marco, forever changed by the experience, had stared directly into the face of a true monster from the deep, a denizen of the abyss that science had yet to acknowledge, a creature that continues to haunt his waking hours. Our final story, a chilling enigma from the depths, comes from the research logs of Dr. Aries Thorne. Dr. Thorne, a seasoned oceanographer, was meticulously mapping a previously uncharted trench in the North Atlantic. His work aimed to understand the geological formations and marine life thriving in these extreme environments. He utilized a state-of-the-art remotely operated vehicle, an ROV, christened Orion, equipped with advanced sonar and camera systems. Orion was his eyes and ears in the crushing depths. One night, as Orion methodically scanned the trench, the sonar painted an anomaly, a large, distinctly man-made object resting on the seabed. The size and shape were unmistakable. It was an intact ship, sitting perfectly upright on the seabed, an impossible sight at such depths. The ocean floor claimed many ships, but this one was different. What baffled Dr. Thorne and his team was the complete lack of damage or debris surrounding the vessel. It was as if the ship had gently descended and settled onto the ocean floor, untouched by the ravages of a sinking. As Orion approached, the ROV's camera focused on the bow, revealing the name, the Siren Song, a name that would soon send chills down their spines. Further investigation revealed that the Siren Song was a freighter, reported as vanished, not sunk, in 1968. It had simply disappeared from the shipping lanes, leaving no trace until now. Inside, the scene was even more unsettling. Everything was eerily preserved, as if time had stood still. The tables in the mess hall were meticulously set, complete with plates and cutlery. In the crew quarters, the bunks were neatly made, as if the sailors had simply stepped away for a moment. Personal effects lay untouched, photographs, books, and letters, all frozen in time. But there were no bodies, no sign of a struggle, no indication of panic or disaster. The ship was immaculate, yet utterly deserted. Adding to the mystery, the lifeboats were still in their davits, securely fastened to the ship. The ship was a tomb, perfectly preserved, yet devoid of its dead. It was a ghost ship in the truest sense. On the bridge, Dr. Thorne found the captain's logbook. The last entry was routine, detailing the ship's position and weather conditions. But then, the final line, scrawled in a frantic hand, sent a shiver down his spine. It read, "The song is so beautiful. We have to go to it. It's calling us from the water." As the team pored over the log, deciphering the chilling final entry, a strange phenomenon began to unfold. A faint, melodic hum began to register on the hydrophones, growing steadily louder. It was a beautiful, yet deeply unsettling sound, resonating from the depths of the ocean. Dr. Thorne, along with several members of his team, felt an irrational, almost irresistible urge to go outside, to be closer to the sound. They felt compelled to follow the melody, drawn by its haunting beauty. Dr. Thorne, a man of science, recognized the danger and fought the compulsion with every ounce of his will. He ordered the immediate retraction of the ROV, severing their direct link to the Siren Song. But as Orion ascended, its camera captured one last, fleeting glimpse of the ship. In the doorway of the ship, a pale humanoid figure stood silhouetted against the darkness, as if beckoning them closer. The team, shaken to their core, immediately abandoned the research site. They never returned, and the incident was shrouded in secrecy. The Siren Song remains a secret, lost in the crushing depths of the North Atlantic. It stands as a silent monument to a crew lured away by an irresistible call, a haunting melody that promised beauty, but delivered oblivion. The question remains, what was the source of that song, and what awaits those who succumb to its allure in the abyss? The abyss does not give up its secrets easily. These stories are just a few drops in an ocean of unexplained phenomena, a reminder that we are visitors in a world not our own. The deep sea is Earth's last true frontier, and every discovery only deepens the mystery. So, next time you look out at the ocean, remember the USS Serpent, the creature on the hull, the Siren Song. Never underestimate the terrifying mysteries hidden beneath the waves. Until next time, try not to think about what's swimming below you.